to another video with I Learn Engineering. My name is Leslie. Today we're going to talk about something that's a little more theoretical, I feel like. It's being agile versus doing agile. And we talked about agile in a previous video, so if you're not sure what agile is, I would recommend you go back and watch that video and then get a bit of an idea of what agile is before we talk about being agile and doing agile. Um, so this is something that some people don't necessarily think about or know. They just think, oh well, we're using an agile methodology. That's enough. And some companies have quite a hard time with agile. They think it's enough to have some sprints, but they don't have the flexibility that agile should have, for example. Um, So a lot of companies do find that hard if they've been used to that waterfall method where you have all your requirements and then you do your design and then you do your your coding and your testing and all of that. They bring in the sprints, but they don't necessarily have that flexibility of being able to change requirements. Um, it's similar to if you have a particular faith and you say, "Oh, I am a whatever that faith is," versus acting on it. So you can have that faith and say that you are of a particular religion or faith, but you maybe don't act on it fully. That's kind of the difference between um, being agile and doing agile. And this would be to fully embrace agile. So this doesn't matter if we're talking about Scrum, we're talking about Kanban, we're talking about pure agile. It kind of works for any of this. So we have to fully believe in something that we call the Agile Manifesto. And this Agile Manifesto was written by certain people who came up with agile methodology and how it works. They were people that were software developers and they came up with the agile kind of principles, and they then come up with this agile manifesto. So some of the things in the manifesto are that the highest priority is to satisfy the customer through what we call continuous delivery. So if you remember from our previous video, we said that agile was iterative, and at the end of every sprint we should be able to give the customer something. So we should be able to say, oh, I've spelled that wrong, haven't I? Oh no. Scrap this kind of my terrible spelling. Let me try and put that in again. Continuous. There we go. Continuous delivery. So at the end of every sprint, we'll be able to give the client something that they can use. That's our continuous delivery, and that we should be able to satisfy the customer through doing that, giving them something every time. We should welcome those changing requirements no matter where they are in development. That's part of the joy of agile, that it is flexible that way, that we can harness change. We bring the business people and the developers together, that they talk to each other often. You work directly with the business people to find out what their requirements are, what their priority is, all that kind of thing. We kind of are as efficient and effective as we can in terms of communicating with the client, communicating with each team member. It's as face to face as we can make it. So in a remote way, that could be video calls, rather than actually sitting fully in an office. But we have to have that face to face communication where it's not all via email or something like that. The team members are trusted to do their job, so they're given their tasks, they're trusted to do them. The working software is our primary measure of progress. So if we have something that's working, we're progressing well. We have what we call sustainable development. So everyone should be able to maintain that pace. We don't try and rush to try and get everything done for a specific time. We keep a steady pace that gives the client continuous, iterations of the software, but that people can keep up with. We try and look for technical excellence, so we're always learning. Um, the better we can design things and the better we can code, the more agility we have. Um, we try and be as simple as possible. So we we maximize what we're doing and how we're doing it, but in a very well defined way, in a simple way. And then with having the like of the sprint retrospectives and things like that, the team can reflect on how to be better, how to be more effective, and things like that. So we have this agile methodology that we can follow its principles and fully embrace agile. So doing agile does mean putting these principles in place, but being agile means that we're actually believing in them, we're actually planning the sprints, we're actually limiting the work in progress, we are managing our backlog of requirements sufficiently, we're doing those reviews and everything like that. So this is doing agile. But if we fully believe in those principles of the manifesto, we are also being agile. So we can be agile or do agile or both. So you might find that a lot of companies struggle with bringing agile in and becoming an agile company because they don't fully believe in those parts of the agile manifesto and things like that. They kind of bring it in because they've heard it's quite good for business and you can get some software out faster, but they don't really embrace the beliefs, if you like, of agile, and then it's always a bit of a struggle. So there is a bit of a difference between being and doing agile. It's important to recognize it. It's not something that you have to believe in, or you have to want to be a part of. Obviously, you could be more than happy just doing agile and not believing it, and it works for you. But that's why you might see the difference in some companies between how they implement agile and how successful it is for them. So hopefully you've kind of learned something from that. Again, if you're not sure what agile is, go back and watch our video on agile and how it works. And I hope to see you again soon in another video. Thanks very much for watching.